Hello everybody, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. We're still in January, the transfer window is still open, so there is potential that we could see some new faces joining us here at Bournemouth in this window. But for the most part, I took a look back at our poll for the last episode that I gave you in regards to pre-contract signings, and looking at it, you guys seem to only want a certain, max overall. So I'm only going to make 2 pre-contract signings on top of the one we've already made, which of course is Edison Cavani. We'll talk and we'll get back to that bridge once we need to cross it, in the regards of whether or not he stays at the club or not when he joins us next season. But there is 2 players that I am going to be bringing in today on pre-contracts, or at least trying to. A goalkeeper and a centre-back. So they're the 2 I'm looking at, both of which are about 80 rated, 81 rated, and that was what you guys said you much prefer to see us bring in, sort of those level of signings rather than like the world-class players who are like 88, 89 rated. And I completely understand that. So let's try and bring in these 2 players. So the first one, Walter Benitez, is available on a pre-contract, a 6'3" goalkeeper. I believe his starting rating is 80, and he goes to about an 83 or more, of course, with dynamic potential. 26 years of age. Realistically, probably going to be playing backup to Jack Butland, but we'll see what he wants in terms of money. And if it's too much, then I won't be bringing him in. And the second player I'm going to be trying to bring in is going to be Nicholas Nkulu, the Torino centre-back that you might remember from the other episode that I showed you. So Walter Benitez up first. We're going to try and make this signing happen. Important. He'll probably play... okay. Well, he wants Crucial. I'm just going to say Crucial. I don't think he'll play as our first choice with Jack Butland at the club. But of course, if we get into Europe at the end of this season, we're going to need probably 2 decent goalkeepers. And I feel like that's what we'll have in Butland and Benitez if we can make this happen. So at the moment, things are going okay. And I was sort of thinking around £40,000 a week. So 42 is not that much more than I was thinking. I'm willing to go at 45 as an offer here. So let's try and make that happen. And once this is done, that'll be our first signing completed. And there we go. So Benitez joins the club next year as a potential number 1. We'll see. Like I said, about 80 rated, so not a bad signing whatsoever. And the other one is going to be Nkulu when I can find him. Where on earth is he? Have I accidentally got rid of him out of my shortlist? I have not. There he is. 81 rated, playing for Torino. This might be a little bit more costly in the wages, but he's going to be a good acquisition to this team. So I really want to try and get this guy in. He'll certainly help us out next season, even just as a squad player as well. So Nkulu is the second player I'm looking at bringing in. Again, he's going to want Crucial, but I'll try Important to begin with. He's probably going to want Crucial. There you go, he does. I'm thinking around about £70,000 a week is the max I will go to for this signing. Outside of that, I don't think we need any more midfielders or attacking players, so I'm not going to be looking at bringing anybody else in as a midfielder or attacker, because I feel like, we've just brought in Phillips, we've brought in Maddison, we've brought in, a couple of really good players, and I don't want to limit their game time next season. So I feel like a centre-back and a goalkeeper is perfect. And there they both are. Nkulu joins, Benitez joins, and of course Cavani, we'll talk about him when he eventually joins us next season. We'll discuss what we're going to do with him at that stage. But I'm happy with that business. I really, really am. It is now time to head off into our first game of today away at Carrow Road against Norwich, who currently occupy 18th place in the league. So realistically, looking at this, we should have things our way. But on the left-hand side, you can see Norwich's team. Farman starts in goal. Angulo, Godfrey, Kamara and Byram at the back, with Gossens, Lopez, Amadou and Wanida in midfield. Leitner just in behind Pukki. Of course, Pukki is the danger man. And for us, though, Jack Butland, Lloyd Kelly, Ake, Cook and Stacey. And you might notice as well that Maddison's back into the team and Joshua King starts out on the right-hand side. Now, I'm not really sure how this is going to go, because obviously King is our top scorer, and we like to use him down the centre of the pitch, but I wanted to get Maddison back into the team, and the only way I thought about how I could do this was maybe bringing Josh King out to the right and dropping David Brooks, because Brooks at the moment isn't as good as King and Maddison and Wilson have been. So I wanted to get all 3 of them in the team, and this is how I've kind of come up with it. So we'll see how it goes anyway, but that's our team selection. Maddison starts against the team that I believe he once played for. Didn't Leicester sign him from Norwich? But anyways, let's get into game. Norwich at the moment happy in possession in the early stages of this game, but I'm quite happy to let them have it, because remember how good we've been on their counter-attack as of late. And here is Bonita through towards Sam Byram. Byram looking for the easy pass through towards Teemu Pukki. but he can't find it as Ake is forced to play it across his own penalty area. There's a lot of high press coming in from Norwich here, but there might still be a way out for us. Kelly trying to force it up towards Wilson. Gives away possession, and Norwich seem to be looking like they're fancying their chances here, but as soon as we do get one counter-attack off, you feel like the chance is going to come, as Fraser does some good defensive work. I mean, it's positive from them, because they're on the ball as much as they can be, but you just sense one ball through might be their undoing, and it could come here from Lewis Cook, as he now looks through towards Callum Wilson, and a vital block stopped it going through. Fraser up towards Maddison, looking for a potential return as well. James Maddison gives it back towards Ryan Fraser, and he's inside the penalty area here. Fraser gets it onto the right foot, shot comes in, and Farman will save it. The first chance of the game falls our way, and it's that pace that we spoke about. Ryan Fraser could have maybe cut it back towards the centre. Wilson was in the box, but instead looked to try and get the shot away. He got it away, and in the end it was a decent save by Farman. Nothing really that troubling though for him. Here is Byron for Norwich, inside towards Pukki. Bonita lets it go! And that was a real chance for Leitner to take the lead for the home side. A real chance. He isn't far away, but he's got to hit the target there. And you know what? All things considered, it was just too easy for Norwich to get through. Defensively, not good by us at all. Oh, that's poor from them. Maddison through for Wilson. Wilson shots! And Farman is able to make a brilliant save. Here is Fraser for Bournemouth. Now finds Phillips. Calvin Phillips back towards Fraser. We're just waiting for something to open up, really, because at the minute, it's very difficult to break down this Norwich backline. Here is King towards Cook. Lewis Cook towards Wilson. You can see everybody but Pukki behind the ball for Norwich, but that pass through from Phillips has found its way towards Joshua King. And the shot is blocked by Angulo, and you can see it's beginning to get a little bit frustrating for us. King, honestly, hasn't had that many touches of the ball out on this right-hand side. I'm actually going to bring him off. Let's bring on David Brooks and change that. I'm going to leave Maddison out there. And obviously Wilson out there as well. Ryan Fraser's corner going to be sent in. Ake looking like he wants to win it. Unfortunately, hasn't come away with possession. Phillips will give it back towards Fraser, though. Fraser lifts it in again. And there's the header to be won. Tell you what, Farman came into no man's land and was not going to get anywhere near that. Luckily for him, though, one of the Norwich defenders managed to clear his lines. It's been wave after wave of Bournemouth possession deep in Norwich's half, but at the moment, Norwich stand firm. And as time ticks away, they are edging ever so closer to picking up a point here, which would be a very good point for them, but a frustrating one for us as Lloyd Kelly coming forward, finding Maddison. Maddison turning as well. Chance to maybe hit the shot. James Maddison! And it's an absolute thunderbolt from our number 10 as Norwich are finally beaten. Get in! He does this so often as well, James Maddison. Just when you need him. He's doing it right now for Leicester IRL, and he's just pulled one out the bag here for us. And it just felt like this goal was never going to come. But Maddison uses the run of Lewis Cook to absolute perfection and rifles it past Farman, who honestly hasn't really been tested too much today because Norwich's defence have been, I'm going to say, faultless. They have not allowed us too much at all, but just there, they stepped off of Maddison. It's only his second goal of the season, and what a time to get it. 6 minutes to play here at Carrow Road. Norwich beaten, and Bournemouth have the lead. Missed time, but I don't care because we are going to pick up the 3 points from Carrow Road. Could have been frustrating. However, we found that breakthrough. James Maddison with only his second Premier League goal of the season, and it's enough to win the game here. Norwich will feel hard done by. They thought they could get themselves a point. It would have been big for them as well because they're down in 18th place at the moment. But that allows us to keep pace with Manchester United because I think, you know, looking at that, we could have gone 4 behind them. Or maybe, no, sorry, 3 behind them if they'd have been able to win. Obviously, I don't know their result, but that means that if they have won, we stick a point behind. Congratulations, your winning streak is extended with today's match. How long do you hope to keep this on? Well, it could have ended today. If it wasn't for Maddison striking that ball in towards the back of the net, we could have lost it. Oh, sorry, drawn this game, meaning the winning streak would have gone. I'm going to say my players deserve all the credit, especially James Maddison for today's match-winning goal. You managed to win a close match with a decisive goal in the second half. You scored it. What did you make of the game? This wasn't a great game, was it? We were the better team. Can't really say that. We should have put the game beyond doubt. We didn't have that many chances, to be honest. I'll say it's time to focus on our next match. We have full value for the win today. You managed to turn the tide and find the decisive goal, given there wasn't much to split the two teams leading up. Did you have any doubts you come away with the win? I trusted we give it our all. And that is that. So, we've managed to win our first game of the day, albeit we should have done, because Norwich were in the relegation zone. I was about to say we are ahead of Manchester United, but that's because they have not played yet. So, it still could be that they take back top spot against us. But there you go. Maddison's goal settles Norwich defeat. And Bournemouth increase their winning streak to 6 games, with Ryan Fraser's quality performances being noted as well. Lerma unhappy with his involvement. Lerma, mate, I'm going to be honest. I've got Lewis Cook, Calvin Phillips doing well at the minute. I'm going to say I'm counting on you in decisive moments. You still have your place in the squad. It's because he's a crucial first-team player, which is why I'm going to say you still have your place in the squad. And hopefully he lets it drop. I'm going to say to Tammy Abraham, because I said that I might start him, I'm going to say keep working hard and see if he gets a start in the later rounds, later matches, which he will, because we've got a cup round coming up, and I believe Tammy Abraham will be starting in that. And we return top for the moment as Manchester United failed to win. However, they were playing Liverpool. They managed a 1-1 draw away at Anfield, so we now lead by a single point. It's very, very close, and Manchester City also climbing themselves up the table, but we've now got a game that's going to be quite tough. It's Brighton at home, and as you can see, we've got a press conference to do as well. They're up into 4th place, Brighton, at the minute, so clearly having a very, very decent season. This could be quite a tricky one to play. Let's see what the press conference has in store for us. Currently on a winning streak. We've won our last 6 matches. Will I keep it going against Brighton? I'm focused on long-term success. We're in great form, or the streak will continue. I'd like to think we can win any game. However, they are in 4th. So let's just say we're in great form. The way we play, I can see our run continuing. A title tilt is on the cards as you continue to exceed expectations. Does your team have what it takes? Essentially, to be a part of a title race is what they're saying. I'll say it's our responsibility to try. We don't know what can happen next. Last time you scored 3 goals on Brighton and it made it look easy. Will you be able to defeat them again? The lads have what it takes, but I don't think it'll be a 3-0 winner this time because, yeah, they're looking pretty good at the minute, Brighton. Let's see what our team is going to look like, though, because obviously I might have to switch it around a little bit. It may well be that they're lacking some first-team players that we need to bring back into the team. That could be the thing to do. But ultimately, if they're having a good season, they must be doing something right. I actually don't know which way this is going to go. I mean, form-wise, I have to be confident in ourselves. We are playing some very good football. And, of course, whatever you have Wilson in your team, they can... we can create chances. You might notice no Joshua King. That's purely on the basis that Maddison scored. So I can't really drop him. And I feel like Wilson at the minute is in better form than Joshua King is. So it's not a bad thing to have either, to bring Joshua King off of the bench against what could be a tiring Brighton side later on in the game. And also as well, no Lewis Cook. He had a few fitness issues, so Lerma's come into midfield. And as you guys know, we had a few words with Lerma telling him that he still has his place in the team. So he's back in it today. He needs to impress if he wants to lock down that spot. From the Vitality Stadium, it's Brighton who are 4th against us who are top. Against Norwich, we had a few issues breaking them down, so I'm hoping we don't have the same problems here against Brighton as Lerma's lost possession there in midfield. Not a great start, is it, to this one, as Zinchenko will have possession. But yeah, we struggled against Norwich for large parts trying to get through their defensive line, and when we did, Farman made the save. So fingers crossed we don't have the same issues here as Wilson. Oh, the pass to Fraser was on, but we couldn't find the correct ball. And Brighton come away with possession. Will Hughes combines really well with Martin Montoya. And Lloyd Kelly has some defending to do, but it's gone back for Brighton. It's Pascal Gross in midfield. Now in possession, Lerma can't get there. Campagna's on it. And he's going to find Trossard. Trossard out wide towards Zinchenko. Come on, we need to get possession back here. We're allowing Brighton to sort of get a bit of confidence going. Trossard now maybe to put the cross in. He does just that. And actually, Lloyd Kelly has to read it. He does. Lerma just about comes away with possession. We forced it out. And Fraser's even got there as well. Look at the one coming in from Wilson maybe too. And look at this for a counter-attack. Something we do so well here at Bournemouth as Callum Wilson's shot. Saved by Matty Ryan. Maddison still has it though. Maddison across. And Fraser cannot get the ball under control. But you saw the pace of the counter-attack. It came from Brighton up the other end and we were already in. Here is Maddison. Look at the space that Jack Stacey is in. And it's a fantastic pick out by James Maddison as well. Stacey, look at Phillips. Calvin Phillips, edge of the area. Oh, he skies it. Oh, that's not what you want to see. I mean, I'm going to be honest, right? I didn't really expect that to go in the back of the net. And Calvin Phillips, all the work he does for us here at Bournemouth. He's a bit of an unsung hero so far this season. But That's not so good from him, is it? And not one of his finest moments in a Bournemouth shirt, that's for sure. But again, the breakaway. Brighton at the minute are doing a very, very good job of protecting possession in this midfield area. It's just that final pass lets them down, and that's what then causes us to be able to break away at pace. We have not got long left in this game now to try and find the winner. Joshua King turns, finds Maddison. He's back on for the pass as well, and we give it back to him. King towards Wilson. Wilson looks back towards King. It's there for Lewis Dunk, though, who is having a fantastic game at the back as he somehow makes 3 tackles in a row there to stop us getting through. Really has been brilliant today, Lewis Dunk, as King forces the header on and Baluta gets there too. And I tell you what, this Brighton side have been really tough to play against. They've made a game of this. Really, really good stuff from them. Aaron Moy, it's not been the most chances in the world, but they've defended brilliantly and on the ball as well. They've not given it away cheaply too often. Stacey, good defending from him. Is there one last chance, though, in this game? As James Maddison again looking for a way forward. Forces it towards Brooks. Now we've only got minutes remaining. Brooks towards King. King turning. Look at this, though. Where do we go? Joshua King towards Wilson. Wilson, we know he can hit them, but he just can't even get a space for a shot. Again, Brighton defensively brilliant. And that is going to be it from the Vitality Stadium, I think, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a single point picked up. A 0-0 draw, and I can't fault Brighton at all. I can't even fault us. We tried to make things happen. But Brighton, after that 3-0 we beat them last time? They don't look like the same team that we beat 3-0, I can say that for sure. They were phenomenal defensively here. I tried to break them down, but I just could not get past Lewis Dunk today. Sensational stuff from the Brighton captain and somebody who could well join us next season at this Bournemouth team. But sadly, no victory in our second game. It is the 0-0 draw. We found a breakthrough against Norwich, but we did not find one here. And that, of course, means that our 6-game winning spree is now over. Maddison continuing his hot run of form. I say must keep momentum. AFC Bournemouth are currently on an unbeaten streak, having drawn only 1 of their last 0 matches. Will you keep it going against Brighton? The game's been played, mate, so I'm not really sure. It seems the second match against Brighton Hove Albion didn't go as planned. Why didn't you gain the upper hand here? They were just too good defensively. I'm not going to say the lads gave it their all because there was definite times where maybe we could have been better. We didn't try hard enough again. I can't say that we tried, but we just didn't have that last bit of quality. But then that would be saying that Brighton didn't do too well, but they did. I'm going to say the lads were tired. Fatigue, you know, at the end of the day, we're in a position in the league where really nobody expected us to be. So, of course, we're going to be a bit tired. We're trying to keep up momentum, and the way things are going, we've just got to keep trying to work hard. And Dan Juma's come to me and said, thanks for putting me back into the team. I don't mind missing the occasional game, but I really need to play or I just can't be at the club. I don't even think he's been playing, so I'm going to say, don't let it go to your head. However, he's probably going to get a start in this next game here against Newcastle in round 4 of the FA Cup. So let's hope that we can make it through to the next round. Transfer offer for Ryan Fraser in this one, and it's come from Bayern. Oh, Bayern Munich want to take Ryan Fraser off our hands. It's going to have to be a lot better than that. I don't even know why I'm contemplating letting Ryan Fraser go, but the money that Bayern have got, again, it's going to have to be something massive if they want to take Ryan Fraser off our hands. So let's see. I'm thinking £70 million. 70 mil, I think that's a respectable amount of money. If they can match that, should be instantly rejected. I'm gonna expect that it does get instantly rejected. 70 million quid, take him off our hands. 29. All right, listen, 68. No, 69. No, nah, 68 and a half. 68 and a half is my last offer. Let's see what they can do here. 32. Bayern, get out. Leave. There's absolutely no way that's happening. And for our final game of today, it's going to be in the FA Cup 4th round. We've gone with our backup team. Abraham and Solanke start alongside Dylan and Mulder. Now, I've got a little bit of a worry about that left-hand side. It's a little bit weak, but hopefully Newcastle won't attack down that side. Danjuma gets to start alongside Smith on the right. Lerma Billing in the centre alongside Simpson. Metham at the back with Ramsdale starting in goal. Newcastle, that's their team on the right-hand side. Top scorer Dwight Gale's in it alongside St. Maxime, Almirion, Hayden and Milner. As a midfield three, Taylor, Dummett, Fernandez, Clark and Yedlin with Dubravka in goal. And I believe Newcastle, last time we faced them, managed to beat us 2-1. So I thought about, you know, playing a bit of a stronger team for this one, but I have faith in the cup team. Fingers crossed we can get the job done. Although we did lose last time to Newcastle, it was admittedly from our own mistake. We should have at least got a draw. So let's see what we can do in the FA Cup 4th round. You can't beat cup footballers. Dominic Solanke looking for our first chance of the game. And Dubravka makes a brilliant save. Solanke, like I said, has been in good form in the cup competition so far. However minimal our Carabao Cup run was. That's a fantastic save, though, by Dubravka in goal. As we have our first corner, Danjuma swinging it in, looking for the head of Metham. It's headed over the bar, goal kick. You can't beat cup football. I just love the FA Cup. Fingers crossed we can get through into the next round. As you guys know, looking to potentially go all the way to the final. It's going to be a tough game, this, though, against Newcastle. They've got a decent squad out there. And I'll be surprised if things are easy for us here, as Abraham looking to turn. Trying to find a way through, forced back towards Lerma. Look at the space on this left-hand side for Mulder, who's forced back in because there's no pass down the line. Back towards Lerma again. Lerma looking for another way through. Through for Danjuma, maybe. Not quite good defending Newcastle, but they're under some early pressure here. As Dwight Gale battles away and somehow gets possession. I thought that was a foul, ref. Gale's ball through. Out comes Ramsdale, and he makes a good save as well. Saint-Maxime was through. Ramsdale very quick off his line, though, to come out and meet him. And he makes a very, very good stop. Lerma looks towards Danjuma. Danjuma up towards the feet of Abraham. Takes the ball under control as well. Danjuma set off too. And the ball is through towards him. A counter-attack on for Bournemouth. Danjuma down the right-hand side. Looking to maybe cut it back. He's found the pass towards Lerma. Straight into the hands of Dubravka. 2 changes at half-time for us. On has come James Maddison and Calvin Phillips. Off has gone the already booked... oh, that's a bad pass, but Maddison can't profit. The already booked Philippe Billing. And alongside that as well, Solanke has also left the field of play, which means Abraham has moved up to the striker role. Maddison just in behind him. Dwight Gale, though, for Newcastle as we start this second half off. In towards the feet of Saint-Maxime. Gale has the pass on. He's forced it backwards, though. It still might open up here for James Milner. Newcastle with a chance in this second half, and it's not good to see. We just can't seem to win back possession. Ball through again. Yedlin. I mean, Newcastle, admittedly, overplaying this a little bit because they could have had the shot by now. Almirion going backwards again, and that is what I talk about when I say overplaying it. Lerma, though, just can't clear his lines, and Almirion has the chance. It's come back for him, and all of a sudden there's a way through. Offside flag has saved us because we were under immense pressure there. Saint-Maxime inside towards Milner. Milner waits for the run to come in down the left-hand side from Yedlin, and he's got it as well. There's the ball. Joy! Saint-Maxime! And Newcastle, with 24 minutes to play, have opened up the scoring at the Vitality Stadium. If I'm being completely honest as well, the way we are playing today is a shadow of the way we know we can play. We scraped by against Norwich, a 1-0 win. We weren't good against Brighton. We got a 0-0 draw, and here, Newcastle are in front. Do you know what as well? It came from largely not a lot. We just didn't defend the run coming in down the left-hand side. Harry Wilson and Mulder just didn't talk to one another. And the ball was played through towards the on-running Yedlin. And I did highlight the left-hand side before we kicked off, didn't I, as a danger area. As Maddison is unable to control that ball. Honestly, though, it wasn't a good pass through to him from Tammy Abraham, who's not having his finest game in a Bournemouth shirt. Let me tell you that for sure. Oh, brilliant touch from Danjuma. And look at this as he drives forward. Danjuma towards Abraham. Tammy Abraham turning, looking for a way through, and he's got it as well. Tammy Abraham! And it's a fantastic finish from our number 23. 8 minutes to play at the Vitality Stadium. Tammy Abraham finds the equaliser. But you have to credit the work from Danjuma. Unbelievable work from him. And Tammy Abraham has fired us back on level terms. It's a very, very, very scrappy game. But we've managed to find an equalising goal. Now, of course, this does go to a replay if it stays the same. But all things considered, the way we are playing today, we could have easily lost this game. Now, let's not lose it in the last few minutes, though. That's the big bit. Or can we win it in the last few minutes? Lerma forcing it to Phillips. Now he finds Maddison. Maddison off to Abraham. Tammy Abraham with an interesting first touch, but he does enough to get past his man. Maddison, now Phillips. Calvin Phillips in the box of Newcastle, sorry. I couldn't get my words out. And Dubravka's pulled off the save. There was touch here as well from one of the Norwich. I can't get Norwich out of my head from the first game. Newcastle defenders. And Phillips should have maybe gone down. I don't know, he still had the shot. In the end, it was a good save. No, how have we not got possession there? How have Newcastle got away with that? That's ridiculous. A minute to play here. And it's looking like it's going to be an FA Cup replay. Don't concede now. Almirian's through. Oh, no, Phillips is wrong-sided. Simpson gets a touch. Lerma, Phillips, last minute. There's the referee's whistle. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1. It is going to be an FA Cup replay. Are you satisfied with today's performance? We need to work harder. A draw is never a bad result, but you know you're never happy settling for that. We need to work harder and win the replay now. At halftime, did you expect to get a draw from the game? I expected at least a draw. I expected a win, actually. Concerned with how we played. I expected a win. I'm disappointed we switched off after getting level. We'll take the draw, but ultimately we wanted to walk away with the win. Saint-Maximin was one of the best players. Was he the reason behind your failure? He's a really good player, let's say that. However, we need to now focus ahead of that replay and make sure we are in the next round of the draw ahead of that one. Manchester United have won, by the way, in their last Premier League game. So our draw against Brighton means that they move ahead of us again. It's getting all very close up here with 14 games to play, isn't it? Now, we're going to count down the rest of deadline day. The transfer window into deadline day. At the moment, I don't think there's going to be too many movements happening for us. But we'll see what happens, because anything can happen on deadline day, honestly. I know I said I was done with transfers, but I'm actually going to go in for one more player. Thiago Almada, one of the players we showed you at the beginning of the series in that summer transfer window. I'm going to try and bring him in, and then what we're going to try and do is loan him out again. Although, I might actually be able to give him some game time if we go further on in the FA Cup. £8.5 million is what they're willing to accept for Thiago Almada. He's worth 10 million, so I'm quite surprised that they're willing to not even negotiate with us. They just want to let him go for £8.5 million. So, looks like Thiago Almada will be our final signing for this first season. Unless, of course, we revisit anybody potentially on a pre-contract, but I don't see that happening. Important first-team player, rotation. Great, he's willing to be important. I will loan him out, though, next year, unless I can give him some game time, because I want him playing games. Now, wages. I feel like £30,000 a week is very respectable, and he should just accept that straight away, and he has done. So, Thiago Almada will become our last signing for now in this window. Yeah, welcome to him. Now, like I said, he looks to be a special player for the future. I'm not quite sure what his overall potential is, but I am very, very confident that he will be one of the better players later on in the series. So, welcome to Thiago Almada. 1 hour to go in deadline day, and as you can see, we made 4 signings. We brought in Benitez, Nkulu, Almada, and Cavani in this window. For Arsenal, they've brought in 1, let go of 1. I'm going to scroll through every team so you can see who has done what business. There was a big one as well over at Manchester United. Rashford has left the club. I believe he's gone to PSG. Chelsea letting go of quite a few players there. Benteke leaving Crystal Palace. I never thought I'd see the day there. Everton have signing Gabriel Jesus, is that? That's insane if it is. Holgate's gone. Leicester City brought in 1, let go of 1. Liverpool bringing in 2, letting go of 5. Klein, Kent, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, and Origi. Man City have let go of Gabriel Jesus. He's gone to Everton. Vertonghen and Alexandro are coming in on pre-contracts for them. But Gundogan also leaving as well. Koeman in. Rashford out for Manchester United. Newcastle bringing in 2. Norwich not doing anything. Sheffield United bringing in 1. Southampton with 2 incoming, 2 outgoing. Varane in at Spurs. That's a big signing for them. Watford have brought in 3, let go of 1. West Ham bringing in 2, let go of 2. Wolves doing 3 incomings, no outgoings, and we're back to us. But I'm curious as to how it's happened that Gabriel Jesus has gone to Everton. £46 million. And Jesus is playing his football at Goodison Park. That's insane to think. Carvajal to PSG. Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid as his replacement. You know, you can kind of see some of the big deals going through. Belotti to Chelsea we already saw in the summer window. Depay to Napoli has happened on deadline day as well. Zaha we already knew about. But there's some incredible movements. And we end off this season's transfers then. There'll be no more transfers in this season. We've got a youth squad monthly report to go through. We've got Villa starting off our February month. As you can see, Villa, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Burnley and Chelsea all in February in a jam-packed month coming up. But that's going to be where we end off today's episode. In terms of the Premier League table, we're a point behind Manchester United. Of course, it's going to stay that way until we play this Villa game. Villa down in 14th, so I look forward to that. Newcastle up into 8th place, Leicester in 5th, Wolves 4th, Man City 3rd. Some interesting teams in really good positions. FA Cup draw. It's replays to be played first before the draw's made. Man United and Spurs have got to play again as well. Interesting. Let's see who the Carabao Cup is involving. It's going to be Spurs-Everton in the final on the 1st of March. Champions League, I believe we will now be into the round of 16. We are, so they're the teams currently playing in the Champions League, and for the Europa League as well for anybody interested. Malmo, Rangers, Manchester United against Victoria Pleasant. And you can kind of see some of the other ones. RB Leipzig Arsenal's an interesting one. Barcelona in the Europa League. Wow. But, my friends, that is going to be the end for today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, a massive thank you for all of the support. I will do the youth squad players off camera and show you anybody worth showing you in the next episode. Until then, have a great evening. If you are new and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all again very soon with another episode. Until then, adios.